Today we're going to talk about being positioned on purpose. And I brought this up, and I'm glad you're here because when we were positioned at the place we stayed,
Right.
neither one of us thought that we'd be here today still talking like this.
No.
So we'll get deeper into that. But Khrys, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where you from? How old you are? Hobbies.
I low-key feel like this is an elevated pitch. It feels like someone is in an interview and asking me to tell them about myself, and my first instinct is to run down my entire resume.
Yeah,
So that's not what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do instead is first figure out how I want to sit, because my man Alex has these super comfortable chairs. It's not working for my posture. So let this be your first insight into seeing the height differential. But yes, everyone, my name is Khrys. I've had the pleasure of being Alex's friend for a very long time, as he's mentioned, and a very unexpected introduction, unexpected relationship, definitely unexpected experiences, but definitely things that you will not be able to not share with people later on. One, I'm from the East Coast, so I'm from Georgia. I had never experienced a scooter in the middle of a city. I had my first experience riding scooters at like 1 a.m. with this man up the street. It's different. It's a different story to tell. And so I'm happy to be here. Instead of just like completely divulging, I'll just wait. And as the conversation goes on, find little areas to plug in. The only thing that needs to be shared is that I am someone that looks for every opportunity I can to be able to kind of redistribute all the information I've gathered. Like, let me be the person to save you months, years of time of certain experiences. Like, if you're willing to learn, I'm willing to help.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be my foundation.
Let's go. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, so we want to talk about being positioned on purpose.
Yes.
And as I was thinking about this, it's just brought me back to obviously when we met. Fun fact, we both were the first two Black people, just about.
In this building. I'm pretty sure we were.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was the first Black guy in there. And then
Black guy.
You were the second. If there were more, I don't think we met them.
They didn't come out at all.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so we was in a brand new building in Tacoma, Washington. And he had already been there, and I had just moved in. They had only been, I guess they had only been open for like 2 months.
It wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long.
No.
But when I got in, we were the only two Black guys there. And then, interesting enough, we both worked for the same company, just in different positions.
Yeah.
So we both worked for Comcast at the time. And so when they would say, "Oh, you're the Comcast guy,"
Oh, I can't say no.
I couldn't say no, but in reality, we're talking about him. And I'm thinking, did they ever approach you like that?
I've had someone approach me, but because of the type of work we did, at the end, we, in a sense, still could have like accomplished the same thing, like assisted. It's just the conversation that was being had was by either other residents or people that like worked in the front office. And so they would say the name, and then when they asked the description, they'd be like, "Oh, it's a Black guy. There's only two of us."
Yeah.
So it depends. Which floor do you live on? Who have you met?
Yeah.
Who have you had the opportunity to meet?
Crazy work.
And so our introduction to each other was like, "Oh, you're the other Black guy."
Yes.
That they were talking about.
Yeah, so they had hosted I don't know.
I swear it was like St. Patrick's Day.
It had to
It was
be
like St. Patrick's
yeah.
Day or one of those holidays that I wasn't expecting a party for. Let's just say that much. It wasn't that type of experience.
The building hosted a nice little event for everyone in the community to come in, hang out, and soon as I saw the other Black guy,
it's you.
I knew.
You're who they talking about. Okay.
You're the other one. Okay. So, and I just remember you just smirking at me like, "Yeah," because you knew exactly where I was.
As soon as you came in, I was like, "This is what they talking about."
That's him. Yeah. That's the guy that works with Comcast. Yeah,
it didn't help that we were two Southern dudes.
Nah.
That didn't help. That country, the slang still kind of sat, and so they're like, yeah, I'm not from the Pacific Northwest. So
Absolutely.
I mean, there were a lot of factors that played into this misconception, and I understand it. And here's the thing, though, I'm not sure how many people have the opportunity to meet someone that someone's like, oh, I mistook you for them, or vice versa, and then you meet that person, and you're like, I can respect that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I hear that, and I'm like, this. Him?
Yeah.
This is who we talking about? And now I'm offended. Now I'm offended because I'm like, why are we even having this
Well,
conversation?
you compare me to that.
Didn't have that experience this time around. So
Yeah, nah, because you definitely was swimming. I was like, okay, yeah, the nice cut, clean.
Hey,
yeah, I'll take that.
That was 7 years ago. We'll see how right now. I'm bumming it today. It ain't working today.
It's cool. I'm bumming too. That's why I got a hat on. You need a hat. I got hats over. I got hats over. But so when I think about that, I was going through a divorce at that time.
Yeah.
So already being alone in Washington State, going through divorce,
Right.
and not seeing my baby,
Right.
just meeting y'all and being a part of that was just a game. I knew I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And I remember before I applied for that building, I used to drive past there all the time for work because it was kind of like my territory anyway. And when I was leaving Gig Harbor, and it was like 8:30 p.m. or whatever, and I pulled up in front of that building in the parking lot, and I just sat and stared at, I believe, the fourth floor. And I was like, you know what, Lord, I'm gonna be in that building one day. I'm gonna be in that building. I gotta, I just need peace.
Yeah.
I can't go home. Home is wild right now.
Right.
And yeah, like literally 2 weeks later, I was in that building. Of course, they were trying to fill up spots because it's brand new. So they were like, yeah,
Right.
come on in.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So,
You got some money?
yep, exactly.
You got
Exactly.
some money.
So to be positioned
Yeah.
in that place at that time, I knew it had purpose. Now, I didn't find out that purpose till about maybe 2 or 3 years later, after we were still talking. For real. I mean, I was wilding out back then, but at the end of the day, I knew that I had to be in that building.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I didn't know outside of, I got a 7-year friendship out of it for sure.
You ever heard, don't want to misquote. I believe the gentleman's name is Soren Kierkegaard. He was a theologian sometime back. I don't want to misquote the century, but it's a quote that I've heard a pastor online mention a lot by this gentleman that says, life is lived forward but understood backwards.
Oh.
And it's something that I think about a lot, because one of the things I used to tell myself a lot was, is it that things happen for a reason, or I'm searching for something to give this some type of validation? And I felt that way at one point because topic you've talked about before, grief, right? Like the thought process is, did this happen for a reason, or am I trying to find something to give myself some comfort? And I've lived in that space a lot. However, to your point, I look at the fact that I had looked at a whole bunch of places before I got to that one location. And I had to make a lot of like judgment calls on what would be best for the job I'm about to start, like distance wise, financially. And interesting thing about it is, to someone who didn't take the time to really understand what I was trying to accomplish, like what I was starting with, it looks like, why are you living here, bro? It's expensive. Like you above a Starbucks. You know it costs some money to live above a Starbucks. Like the money I'm spending for a studio apartment, right?
Right.
And it's interesting because I don't believe, having not been in that specific circumstance, I would have made that same decision. Like, let's say if it were a different job in a different space, I probably wouldn't be living in a high rise.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
Why was it that I chose to do it that time? And I look at it not even just from this, but like the context of like, I had always had this thought in my head that I wanted to move to Washington. I had never been to Washington. I didn't know anybody in Washington. All I knew is that Amazon was here. Matter of fact, at the time, I knew Nintendo was here. And in my head, I was like, these are companies I work for. I didn't know any better. I was in high school, right?
That's crazy work.
None of that happened. I didn't come out here till late 20s, and it wasn't under any of the same circumstances. It wasn't to do any of the stuff I intended. And then when I got here, I was like, I have no plan, but things just started falling in place. And what else could it be other than purpose when things just start clicking?
Yeah, man. 100%. There's a lot that came from that move.
Yeah.
That I thought was just a coincidence. But as I look back, it definitely was on purpose.
Yeah.
So you were saying that was the last place you chose.
The last place I chose, yeah.
And it was the first place I chose.
Well, I don't want to say last in the sense where it's like I had a list and I said, man, if I had to pick one place at the end of my options, this is what I'm choosing. It was more so, life is interesting.
Yeah.
So let me not soapbox it. Let's say this. I had always moved to a new state or to a new area with a full-on plan. The only plan I had when I moved out there was I'm about to start a job. I need somewhere to live. So what took place was I had actually flown from Georgia to Texas to work a completely different job. The day that I found out they were giving me the job that brought me to Washington, I was leaving to go start the other job. And the HR lady called me and was like, we want to offer you the job.
Dang.
We just had to get some clearance. And I called up. It was like, sorry, not about to make it, right? Like, not about to make it. And ended up just knowing, hey, I got to be there in 2 weeks. And I got some points from the airline, bought a one-way from Texas to Washington in an Airbnb and spent 4 days just driving around. Stopping at different places. Because you know how they get you. You see the website or you see Google Maps and they took a picture of the one place they remodeled that's actually like that's like the model room, but it's not. None of the units look like that. Nah. You look, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna have them cabinets. No, you not have them cabinets. Like, oh, y'all got wood floors. You ain't got no wood floors, my boy. You got old carpet, and we are definitely gonna charge you that deposit. And so that's that whole thing. I got there and I was like, let me just check out some spots. And I was checking places out, and I've just always been one of those people where I understand overpaying for something, but then I also understand paying for quality, right? And when I walked into that place and said, okay, cool, I'm the first one in here, that means everything in here, I get the ability to mess up first. And I told the lady there was a fridge inside the unit and it was new, like you said, and it didn't have an ice maker. And she said to me, what would stop you from signing the day? And I said, this fridge don't have an ice maker. And she said, hold on, and call maintenance. To do is like, I'll bring you a different fridge today. And I was like, that's all I needed. That's all you need. Just knowing that, but being able to narrow it down to the sense of like, I had a lot of, I don't say standards, but I feel like a lot of stipulations as to if this, then I probably won't move in. If this, and so on. And so being able to decide that that's where I wanted to be, like, of course, in my head, I feel like I had some power because I did all the research and all the footwork. However, there's no telling that, like, God was like, okay, that's cool. I'm glad, for your own comfort and well-being, you've done all these things, but he was going to end up there anyway. Like, I don't know now looking at it, how I could have lived anywhere else. I don't think that would have been an option.
No, and I felt that same thing because, at least for me, I was going through so much chaos at home. I needed a place of peace.
Right.
And for that to be like a secure building. Garage for parking your car, all these things, and then even they had a natural scent that they
did.
It just was peace to me. It was peace. It was peace, and the first time I walked in, I was like, "Yep, now I'm getting one of these rooms." Do you think purpose is something that's forever going or developing, or purpose is a one thing that you just haven't gotten to yet?
I feel as though purpose is seasonal
Mm,
in the sense of if I am ever developing, then purpose is going to be continuously changing.
mm,
I like to look at it from the perspective of if you look at relationships that God had with all these individuals in the Bible, if you follow their storylines, he revealed different parts of himself to them when it was needed, right?
mm, mm,
And then they would learn, like, oh, this skill set or something that
mm,
I had, even just an interest at times, and it's something that was meant for me to expound on and be able to
mm,
develop more into, like right now, right? So you've always had this inclination that this is something you should be doing,
mm,
right? Then once you start doing it, now you're like, okay, this is definitely something I should be doing.
yeah.
That's ever changing. And
Mm,
for me, it's ever changing. I went to Washington with the thought process of, I'm about to get a job, I'm about to give me some money. That was it. It
yeah.
was, I'm not here to help nobody. I'm not here to worry about your success. I'm not focused on what your goals are. I done moved from the East Coast, almost the last state
Yeah.
on the Southeast, all the way up here. I don't care what nobody talking about. And oddly enough, what made me successful in every role in that organization wasn't what my primary focus is. My focus was pay these bills, like
Yeah.
get out of debt. I ended up succeeding, not even from doing my job, which was technically selling, but it was the relationships I built within that
Mm,
space.
mm, mm,
I'd known I had the ability to build relationships. I didn't know what impact I could have on people within these
right.
relationships. Especially I'm your boss technically. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Mm,
I'm your leader,
mm,
whatever the case may be.
mm,
However, I had built relationships with people that taught me something about myself where it was I always thought people just want to be around me because I'm like, oh, we like how you talk.
yeah.
It's an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was saying stuff that was actually helping them.
Helping them.
And I'm like, well, ain't this Mr. Come get this money, then turned around and contributed to the lives of others. And
Yeah.
so that within itself, I think, is an example of rediscovering purpose at a time,
Mm,
right? You know, and it's not with it being ever changing, you can have multiple purposes at a time. Think
mm,
about it right now, right? You're serving in this space. You're serving as a husband. You're serving as a father.
mm,
There's going to be time you serve as a mentor. You might
mm,
serve even as like a cross like peer leader, where there's somebody that's your peer, and they're like, I need assistance here, and somehow you just happen to be
mm.
that answer.
Yeah.
If you live in a state where your thought process is the purpose is linear and I'm just staying on this one track, I feel like you miss out on a lot of opportunity that God's essentially saying, if you want it, it's there. Like
Mm,
if you want to live this full life and really see all the things that you can be involved with,
right.
do that.
Right.
Otherwise, it's somewhat of a lost opportunity. But and that just could be my perspective. How do you feel about it?
The exact same way. I mean,
Okay.
that's the whole point of even being positioned on purpose.
Yeah.
Down to just even when you're at a gas station pumping gas and you see somebody randomly that you feel called to talk to or
Right.
to help out
Yeah.
or whatever, you were positioned in that moment
Yeah.
for what that reason, that season for to help out or to do
Yeah.
something, to act.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes we miss the mark on that. Like I missed the mark earlier today on that when I was walking. I saw a young lady that was walking and it looked like her mascara was running,
Right.
like she had been crying.
Yeah.
Now I was with my daughter walking at that time, but something told me to ask if she was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't because
Why?
I don't know. I was just with my daughter walking.
I
having a
thought
good
something
time.
deterred you, like popped up, and you're like, no.
Nah, I think it was just more so. Well,
Be honest.
actually, I'll say this. I'll say this now that I think about it.
What was it?
First of all, it was a little white girl. That's
Okay.
what it was.
Trying to.
I'm a 6'4" black man.
he try to move carefully. I respect that.
You know, hey,
Okay.
gotta be careful
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
am not trying to take the blame for this.
No, I understand that.
But no, it's sometimes we just miss those marks and those cues.
Yeah.
But we are positioned on purpose and for purpose, and it's like up to us to really get in the word
Mm-hmm.
and have that discernment of when that thing is happening.
Right. Right. Because people pray for them to happen, but they don't pray for the awareness to know, like,
Yep.
this
is it.
This is it.
That was it.
This is what you was asking for.
Yeah,
And
you asked for grace. I gave you a conflict situation
yeah.
where you were supposed to
Yeah.
give grace.
Yeah.
You did.
Listen,
And you missed it.
I remember having a deacon growing up that used to say to me, everybody tells you to be careful what you wish for. I'll tell you, be careful what you pray for. And the example he used, though, is what made it funny. I never took him serious at one point. He was like, he kept telling me how he was praying for patience.
Mm-hmm.
But then everybody was testing his patience.
Mm-hmm.
And so his point was, you can't pray and ask for something without going through the trial.
Yep.
So I've been in that space a lot. So it's hey, help me to be better about extending grace or doing. I'm going to end up in a challenge of some degree at some point, because how exactly do I intend on saying I want to grow my muscles, but then I'm not in the gym? I got to do that work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, especially when this is what I like to call, it's more of this is a passive growth situation. Active growth is more of like, I was preparing for this, I'm walking into it, cool. Passive growth is a matter of, you thought you was chilling today. you thought you was chilling today. And remember that day you told your daughter where you was like, this is how we handle ourselves? 30 minutes later, now here's the circumstances. She's sitting there, she's like, so daddy, what we gonna do?
Yeah.
What she gonna do? And so I know you know that feeling. I know you know that feeling. So I get it. Like sometimes those opportunities come about, and even if we are aware, we don't always act on them the way that we should.
Nah, and I think it's really just all about, again, having that clarity and that discernment to understand that those moments, because he's talking about peace. You know, a lot of people pray for like a financial freedom, and it's like, okay, well, you're not being a good steward with what you got, though. You know, with the money you are getting.
Don't do that.
Like,
no, don't do that.
You're praying for this abundance and overflow, and you're not even taking care of what is coming in. You know, and that's kind of how I feel when it comes to like certain even gifts that I have. It's like, man, are you gonna just exercise it? Yes, this promise that he's giving you, this promise is yours.
Yeah.
But you got to work on this first.
Right.
You got to master that gift, or you got to not necessarily master it, but you got to be a good steward of that.
I agree.
Once you be a good steward of that, what's the word say? Be fruitful or grateful with few, and I'll trust you with plenty.
Yeah.
I'll be able to give you more if you take care of the little bit I gave you now. So
can't be out here burying all you. Burying your blessings. Talking about I knew you was a cruel master.
Dude said, I didn't think this was enough. It was just one.
I put it away. I put it away.
Save it for you because I know you didn't want to lose this one.
You know?
Crazy work.
You know what though? Do you feel like that same approach is taken with people from a purpose standpoint, and without over explaining, from the thought process of?
Yeah, I mean, you did it.
What you mean?
With the whole.
What you mean? I got offended.
We both done it. When it comes to, I'll just take the camera equipment. I'm gonna wait till I get this first before this ain't what I was given. This ain't enough for me to do what I want to do.
Yeah,
it's enough to get started, but I'm gonna just hold off on this until I get everything I need, and then
I'll remember doing it. I'll remember that.
That's how I am, man. That's how it was for sure. Like I was like, man, God was like, kind of like what Moses and the staff. Like, what do you have? Use what you have.
Right.
You think it's just a stick. You're like, no, 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 no. I can do things with that.
Right.
But I need you to trust me with what you have, not what you want or what you don't have. So, but yeah, no, I think people are doing that a lot with everything.
What do you think is a common holdup for people as it relates to pursuing their purpose? Because in this case, the example you utilized was us saying we don't have what we need yet. But in reality, it's like we have enough to do more than most people do. But the way our minds work is I've developed this, I don't know, I guess, this world where in order for this to be successful, all these things need to be in play. But not everybody has that as their holdup. What other holdups can you think of that could be common for people in this space?
Their relationship with God.
And why?
If you are not solely connected with God and trusting His word
Yeah,
day in and day out, having that daily bread,
yeah,
you're gonna forever react out of flesh.
yeah.
And whether that's fear, frustration, or busyness,
Right.
or procrastination, or perfectionism, whatever it is,
Yeah,
you're going to be moving it through flesh. So you really got to get in the word, and you really have to have that discipline, spiritual discipline, to
Yeah.
be able to say, no matter what, I'm going to do what I've been called to do, or what I feel purpose to do. So I'll say that, and just overall, just another, just distractions.
yeah,
Comparing ourselves to everybody else.
yeah.
Like, oh, well, shoot, mine don't look that good. Or,
Oh,
there's a TikTok influencer dude. He's in Seattle. He was just talking about how some of y'all out here trying to work on that one video. You've been working on that one video for a month or 2 weeks just to get, 30 likes, yet you got one person over here that's posting every day. Yeah, he's only getting 10 likes, but he's posting every day, and that 10 is going to turn into 20,
right.
200. So stop trying to put out the best. Just put out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Now that brings about an interesting topic.
okay.
In this world where perfectionism is pretty much like a standard in a lot of places where even and that's not to say that perfectionism for a person results in a perfect result, because there are a lot of people that are chasing perfectionism, and I mean, not to completely degrade your efforts, but far from it, far from it. Now, do you believe that failure from chasing perfectionism has influenced this direction that we've had of people, where I'm not saying that quality doesn't matter, but there are people that are like oversaturating every market with just quantity, and not quantity in the sense of like, let me put out 10 videos and see where I can improve. It's more of like, you gonna see me. Like I'm pulling up no tents, windows down. you gonna see me. But there's no, I don't want to say there's no vision or purpose, because I can't speak for those people. However, at times I do feel that when people are just like, boom, 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 let me just hit you with a bunch of stuff, they don't have no direction. They just waiting for something to land. But is that a result of perfectionism is too much to chase?
I mean, it depends on the person, right?
Okay.
It does boil down to what you were saying. There's no vision. There's no focus. There's no niche. Those kind of people, what they are doing is trying to get out at least their first 100 videos.
Okay. Is there a benefit to that?
It is a benefit to that. It is, because now you're getting to this place where you don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care what people have to say. You're not worried about people's comments. You know that you're posting content because you want to post content, not
Okay.
because people are demanding or people don't like your content.
This is more of a you thing then.
It can be, yeah.
That barrier, I'm saying the barrier of the first 100, not necessarily like 100 is the magic number to for something to pop off for you on social media. That could first of all
No,
just
that's
be
that.
like
Yeah, I
get
mean
your reps
that's
in.
most content creators who have started that's what they're going to encourage you. Get the first 100 videos out.
Okay.
Get because you get the reps in basically.
Okay.
Once you get the reps in, it's at that point you should have either A, found your cadence,
Yeah.
your niche, or your targeted audience.
Okay.
And by then, now you can start keep focusing on set niche audience or in cadence, So uh, a lot of people want to just have everything together, the schedule, the this, the that. When I post, how often, all this stuff. When it's like, just post. You don't even know how to hold the camera yet. So just post what you can. Whatever comes to your mind, just post that. Just get out there because people aren't watching you right now. So it's better to practice now where they're not watching versus going viral. Now you got all these people following. And then now everybody's like, oh, you don't post consistent. You ain't even here. You're supposed to post last week.
Yeah.
It's been a month.
Right.
So it's and it's a thing that I'm working on too. It's like, bro, like don't even worry about once a week or twice a week. Just post whatever comes to your mind. Just put it out there. Because at the end of the day, it's about you becoming more comfortable and familiar with what you hear to share or what you feel that you need to create, because it is you that people want to see, regardless if you think about it or not. The reels, reels are real. Like that's why they want you to be real, raw. Whatever it is, you want to talk about how you hate making coffee in the morning, but it's so good, then talk about that. You want to talk about how you don't like mismatched socks, but I don't know, just whatever it is on your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like do that
Yeah.
because it's not about the content going viral. It's about you getting in the reps.
Circling back, would you say understanding that perspective that not perfectionist, but perfectionism itself is somewhat of a roadblock whenever you're focused on purpose?
It can be. I mean, you want it to hit, right? You want it to go viral.
Yeah.
But I learned that the right people will see it.
Yeah.
You have to change your perspective and you have to change your mindset on it. Like, are you doing this for the views or are you doing this because you feel like you were called to or told to?
No, it makes sense.
And I've learned that there's been plenty of videos I posted where I'm like, oh, that's going to hit. And if there was a such thing as negative views, it got it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not even about how many views it gets because even if it only got 10 views, 20 views, 2 views, those people need to see it. And that's all that matters. Did it hit the people that it need to? And keep putting in the reps regardless, because sometimes people will get depleted or defeated on that when something doesn't. They try so hard to make it so perfect and it flops.
Yeah.
Now they're not going to post for another month because their mindset is on things being perfect and everything's just taking off. And it's like it's not about being perfect right now. It's about being on purpose, doing it on purpose, post on purpose.
Yeah.
It's just that.
At what point did you, because purpose can still be held up with our hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point did you get past I need to be perfect? And it turned into, as you're saying right now, I needed to land and I'm doing it on purpose
Mhm.
for a purpose to help encourage your purpose. When did that change?
Um, I made a video
Yep.
and I just felt like that was going to be the one.
Hmm.
This is it. It was so funny to me. It was hilarious,
Yeah.
and it did not do well. And I remember being so frustrated about it.
Yeah.
I was talking to my mom, and she was like, she just shared with me how, the Holy Spirit spoke to her, was like, hey, stop posting are you posting for the likes?
Yeah.
Or are you posting because I told you to share
Yeah.
it? And that being put in that position, hearing her say that made me realize, okay, I have a heart issue.
Mm.
Like I'm really trying to. It's about me,
Yeah.
and this shouldn't be. It should be about the listener, the viewer,
Yeah.
the people, and it's my obedience, but it's for the people.
Right.
So um, it got to the point where I had stopped posting for about almost a year of like just legit videos and anything that came on my mind because I felt myself going back to look for how many likes it had or how many shares did it get.
Yeah.
And anytime I felt like my heart or my mind was going into that, I'll pull back and shut everything off because I'm like, nope, it's not about that. Did I post what I felt like I needed to post? Yes. Okay, cool. And I don't care how many likes it gets. I don't care how many views it gets.
How do you manage that now? Because I don't imagine it's not like you gonna get an itch to go look still, right? So like, how are you approaching that urge now versus when it was more of a hindrance?
And gotta fast and pray to get your mind and heart right. Because you can easily fall back into that trap of thinking stuff is just supposed to take off, and when it doesn't, you can easily get discouraged to the
Yeah.
point where you're not even going to get back up and do it again.
Right.
And that's what's happened to a lot of people when it comes to them being positioned on purpose or leaning into their purpose and focus is when something doesn't go right, they think that it isn't right.
Right.
So they just stop doing the thing, not realizing that, oh, you was just like one more rep away from
It really pulled.
it really pulling out, so yeah, for me I literally just try my best to check the flesh as often as I can.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that should inform you that purpose is an ongoing process, is what he's
It is.
that's essentially
It is.
saying. There's gonna be segments where even if you do feel like, you know what, I think I've made it past that, you could potentially get pulled back into that same cycle. And
Absolutely.
I do believe that resonates strongly with you bringing up taking that daily bread,
Mhm.
because I definitely feel like that part is overlooked even within that prayer, just not understanding that Sunday's not enough.
Sunday is not
Sunday is
enough.
not enough. And I look at that wholeheartedly just from any relationship. If you have a relationship with your spouse, significant other, whatever the case may be, if we don't really connect like that, right? I can't say that, oh, like I feel close to you.
Right.
It's no different. Like it's no different. I think people really miss the opportunity to have that relationship with God because they look at it as it's like a magical being rather than like, okay, cool. If I don't talk to you enough and I don't know how you like to receive messages,
Mm-hmm.
and I just start saying crazy stuff to you, and you looking at me like, bro, who you talking to?
Yeah.
Who you talking to?
Yeah.
That's a drop ball on my end. You feel me? Like that's a drop ball on my end. And so being able to take the time and build that relationship and then being able to go back and check your purpose is really what makes a difference. Because realistically, I feel unless you're a company, people don't use the term purpose
Mm.
to that. Purpose and vision are very much a company and religious sector type of talk track. You know, you got when you're looking at a company, you might have a mission statement, or they'll actually have a section that says our vision or what our purpose is, or whatever the case is. You talk to an average everyday person, they're not talking about no purpose.
No.
They're talking about what they had to get accomplished today so they can go home. They're not talking about vision. They're talking about a goal, which could really be, hey, in 2 weeks, I'm finna buy that jacket. I'm about to buy them Jordans, but it's never I can see this. I have an idea of the path to take. I can't tell you every route I might have to adjust on, but I feel like that, and I could be wrong. I feel like from anyone that's a believer, that vision is gonna come from your relationship with God. I can't necessarily speak for someone in a different space, like where their vision may come from. But I do feel like a lot of people are missing that vision and missing the purpose just because, as you said, they're not really taking the time to build that relationship, or even see that it doesn't have to be like magical being in the sky type of thing. You know, I could fly twice as high, reading rainbow. I don't know the regular song, but it was in my head. It was in my head, so it felt appropriate. Don't mind me.
There we go.
Don't mind me.
Well, I mean, I would even add to that, like, legit, if you are not having that relationship, then how are you having that focus and that understanding of your purpose, of what you're supposed to do, right? Because at the end of the day, without true focus on the creator, you don't even you have no way to create the right things.
You create all types of things.
Are you going to do the right thing? Are you creating the right thing? So, because I've seen people who have well, we all know it. We all got a friend that's been rapping since 06.
Oh yeah.
And ain't been nowhere.
No.
But then you got that person that's been focused, they've been putting in the work, they've been traveling, they've been meeting up with, artists or whatever, they've been working behind the scenes even.
Yeah. And
they have that relationship, and then obviously they take off. We all got that one person that we know that was doing us. We was in the same position we was in, and either have outdone us or we have outdone them by far. How? And that person, I would say that's because that person was more connected to God, more focused on their purpose, or realized their purpose and went straight to it and only focused on that.
Yeah.
Or B, they no, it's just a.
It's just a.
There's
no other route that could have been. It's just a.
They was focused. They was focused and connected to purpose. And once they got a hold of this is what I'm supposed to do, they let nothing stop them. They let nothing get in the way.
So, as somebody who has proactively pursued not only purpose, but really the practices that keep you focused on purpose, what advice do you have for anybody that's struggling to stay on track? Because just like anything in life, when stuff starts getting difficult, it's easy to want to divert, and purpose will cause you to divert.
Yeah.
Purpose will definitely cause you to divert, because you'll look at purpose from the sense of, I want to accomplish this, and God will be like, that's great. In order for you to do that, I need you to do these two other things. This is also part of the deal. And goes back to us saying earlier, please give me patience. He's like, cool, here's 7 situations all at once. How are you going to handle yourself? Are you going to be slow to anger? Or are you going to go off? And so with that, what have you gathered? Obviously you shared, but like, if you could pick one main piece of advice in addition to ensuring your relationship with God is in place, like when you're actively building that, what could you offer someone to say, hey, when you're finally getting to that point where you're like, I think I'm ready to throw in the towel, What kept you from doing that?
Community, mentors,
Yeah,
get you iron sharpens iron, get you some people to hold you accountable.
yeah,
You know, you gotta have people in your corner, man. You cannot do it by yourself.
right.
You can't. We were not designed to be by ourselves. We were not, you know, now sometimes you have to be alone for focus and
Right.
for, whatever, but I that's what I would say, community and mentorship. Because somebody's gotta check you.
Right.
Somebody should be checking on you and somebody should be able to check you. So
Yeah.
um yeah, that would be, if anything, get some people around, some solid people around you.
I can stand by that. I can stand by that. I had a gentleman in my professional career tell me that the best piece of advice he could give me is to find 3 people that I will allow to ask me why.
Yep.
And he said it in the sense of, for him, he always has a bunch of activities on his plate. So his thought process is, if I have all these activities on my plate and I have people around me that are like, well, why are you spending your time doing that? If I cannot explain to them why this is important, because it can be important in one season, another season comes around and I had this on my to-do list, but it doesn't necessarily serve what I'm going towards either anymore, or now I've realized I don't necessarily need to do this. Why is this still something I'm doing? And it's like, you have to have somebody that you allow to ask you why. Because if you don't allow people to ask you why, you'll just keep me like, bro, don't ask me no questions. And you just go keep spending the time and energy doing that
Yep.
with those people that you're saying that like have those people in your corner. Do you limit who that is? In the sense of like, Jesus only took certain disciples with him.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how have you gone about that? Is it, are you identifying people like, okay, cool, like as I'm having this conversation or I'm trying to focus on this next part of the vision that I'm trying to accomplish, like who I share that with, and
Yeah.
being selective.
Yeah. No, I think when it comes to like a mentor, for sure, you
Yeah.
probably want to keep that down to like 1 or 2.
Agree. Too many ideas.
Yeah, definitely 1 or 2. And depending on the situations in your life, I mean, you really can't get parenting advice if they're not a parent, So, or
I agree.
so it's just kind of keeping it more realistic and tailored to, okay, this person has had the same similar situations that I've had,
Right.
and they've been successful.
Yeah.
I need to learn from that. I need to pull from that. So, I would say,
it's important.
yeah, you definitely a spiritual leader too, like a pastor.
Yeah.
That's different from a mentor.
Yeah.
So that's number 2. And then I would say probably a close friend too, somebody that you can actually trust to share your challenges and struggles with. There we go.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things that you just aren't going to be able to tell everybody, but you need to be able to tell somebody. The word says, confess your sins to one another. That way you may be healed and that way you may be forgiven. So you may not be able to tell it to the person you are absolutely upset with right now,
Right.
but you should have somebody that you can talk to about the situation. So, with that being said, yeah, I would say 3 to 4 people
Okay.
in your corner. One being a mentor, one being a spiritual leader, the other one being somewhat of a big brother, big sister, and then possibly a good friend, like a hangout buddy.
It's funny because I'll be liking to have people in my circle. This man is very gracious with how how willing.
I don't listen. It took me a long time before I mean, I'm still struggling with a couple of those, filling in a couple of those spots. So
I get that.
it's I don't know, man. It's for me. I understand it now. I guess I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen my life when I had it down packed,
Mhm.
and I've seen my life without it, and I'm like, didn't make sense.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. Okay. All right. We've gone both routes, and we've decided that it's better for you to have those swaps. It's just not all. It's just like purpose, though. It's ever developing because I've had people that have served me well in one season, and then another season comes around, and either A, they know where to be found, or B, that insight is not hitting the way it's supposed to. Let me tell you something. I do not take financial advice from people that are always broke. That's number one. This resonates very heavily with the statement of I'm not taking parenting advice from someone that does not have children. That makes no sense. I'm not taking relationship advice from someone that always has relationship issues. You're the problem. So, and with all that being said, I do feel as though it is a challenge to find people that fall within those spaces. I know for me, I've always had issues with the mentorship piece. I've had issues with mentorship just because I'm not gonna lie to you. The initial thought process I had with mentorship was like, people get in trouble. It was like, you get a mentor because you've been assigned one because, you was acting up. But then from a professional standpoint, I just had a lot of people make me promises and it wasn't things I was looking for. They were like, hey, I want to be a part of this. Let me do this for you. And I'm not someone looking for a handout. So if you come offer me something, I'm going to say thank you. But now I'm like waiting to see what you do. And I've had far more times where these people offered something and just fell off the map. And and I'm not sure if you've experienced this. This is actually way more common. It needs to stop. This is way more common than I would like for it to be. And let me be the one to say it, Mr. Unpopular Opinion. I'm not going to speak for women. Black men, we need to stop being so intimidated. If you have somebody that can come in any role, in any capacity, and you know that, and you have the ability to help them, you should not be stopping that from happening with the thought process of what if this person comes in and replaces me? Because that's a very like fear-based mindset. But then the second part of it is, let's just think about our community and culture as a whole, the amount of opportunities that are missed out for our people just because it's a very much like, well, if you come in here, you make me look crazy, they gonna put me out. What? Like what? Yeah. Let's just be clear. The amount of other cultures that have not only family, but friends of family or someone they just met that they had a great conversation with. They're like, bro, you want to interview?
Yeah.
And they'll bring you in and you might make a dumb decision and they'll say something like, that was a bad hire. But we end up in circumstances, unfortunately, and that's where the reason I bring this up is because I've had this happen so many times with mentors. I wholeheartedly believe they were like, yo, I see something in you. And it was likely something that for them was like, this reminds me of myself, or like, I want to be a part of it. And without sounding arrogant or cocky, I think it was too much. I do believe that when you are operating within your purpose and you're not trying to make yourself look a certain way, you're going to look bigger than life. God puts you in circumstances where people will see you and what you're doing, even if in your head, I'm just showing up like I'm supposed to. I'm just speaking when I'm supposed to. And you are doing your day to day, which might seem small. It'll make you a target for people. People are like, yo, I want to be a part of that. They'll say some crazy stuff to you like, oh, he got aura. Like, nah, son. Like, this is all favor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm walking in a favor. I'm walking in a grace. Like, it looks to you like I'm calm. On the inside, I'm burning up, but this is a piece that I've worked for, like all these things matter. So for me, personally, I haven't had these mentors because what it's turned into is I'm having people offering me opportunity. It's feeling like they're going to assist me with chasing my purpose or pursuing my purpose effectively. And instead, what they do is they give me this nugget in my head that my purpose and my vision is valid to me. Don't bring nobody in. They're going to destroy it. So then I miss out on other opportunities because certain opportunities I think to pursue parts of my purpose involve people. But I've now put them at a distance. But why? Because outside of the spiritual realm and the physical realm, I've dealt with people who have come and offered me things and then decided, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like that. Like I don't. I don't like that. And unfortunately, I've had it with more African American men. Honestly, I say have it with more. I've only had it
Yeah.
with African American men. And I've had so many different people give me input on what they feel the reason is, like, oh, this person disappeared because of this or so on. And look, I'm not thinking about it from the sense of like, oh bad, I got ghosted. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Granted, I do feel a way get ghosted in any circumstance because I'm very transparent and very clear. So if you fall off the mat and say nothing, it just lets me know that's very cowardly and you need to learn how to talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm not agreeing with that. However, like, I think for me, I would rather build myself into a position where I can help mentor someone else. I just know I'm gonna have a chip on my shoulder about mentorship in general. Not even, which is crazy. I'm happy to help, but I would never call myself a mentor because of how I feel about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I hear that. And I would say one thing that I've learned about mentors or having a mentor is technically, and I could be wrong, but what I heard was they're not the ones to reach out. You should be reaching out when you got something going on, right? The other thing I heard from being a mentor on both ends of what you're describing, and sometimes you just get burnt out. You got to be able to communicate that. But that's why did they get burnt out? Why did I get burnt out? No one was pouring into me.
Right.
So,
Right.
just like you saying, man, like those, if you have the opportunity to help somebody step up, black man, any man, mentors, make sure somebody's stepping up in your life too and helping you because you can get burned out.
Right.
You can just lose sight of the vision and the purpose behind the position you've been placed in to mentor this person or to be in this person's life. But that's definitely where that daily bread and that legit having that 3 to 4 people in your corner comes from.
Devil's advocate. Stop applying for roles that you are not willing to hold the responsibility for. Here's my thing. If I'm in a circumstance and I'm assigned as a mentor versus me coming forward and saying, let me volunteer myself, two separate expectations.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm saying. Two separate expectations. Because let's go ahead.
But would you not say that person's heart in that moment of wanting to help you was right?
No. And the only reason I say that, is because I don't necessarily believe that everybody's heart is in the place of helping when they offer to help.
More of a give or
It's how does this make me look? Yeah, I come from the world of sales, man. I come from sales. I've worked in the government space. Like everything is image, right? Like everything is image. And so you have folks that are very genuine. And when they come, you can tell.
Yeah.
But you can tell when someone is genuine because I've had one person I would consider a professional mentor in my career space. Only one of them where I knew when he was like, if you ever need to talk, that he genuinely meant it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing though. He enjoyed talking to me, so he would reach out to me even though I just reached out to him.
Yeah.
Because what it turned into was more of a relationship. Here's the thing. If I want a mentor where it's always one-sided, I'm opinion. Because then they're a coach. I don't ask my daughter for money, for insight, to mentor her. And here's the crazy thing. She don't come looking for me. Not for that type of advice. She come tell me stuff. I gotta go look for her and try to influence her in the space. Now here's the crazy part. Why am I reaching out to her? But that's because my heart is in a space where I care about her well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Two different things. I'm not expecting you as a mentor or someone that is supporting me in that space to just be hitting me up all the time, like, yo, what's the progress on this? What's the so-and-so, da-da-da. However, I will tell you this, unless you're somebody I am paying,
Mm-hmm.
if the only communication to any degree that ever really happens is me going to you, like, not, you don't send me a YouTube video like, yo, I thought this would be helpful, like so and so.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's a life coach I'm paying.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather pay for the service because then I have no expectation. That's all.
Okay.
That's all. And maybe that's due to the fact of the type of mentor I've been. I've been in unintentional mentorship positions where someone will come and ask me a question and I give them an answer, and then I realize like 3 weeks later after they've been asking me questions every day, I'm like, oh, you like trying to get information from me. Like I'm genuinely just like, oh, at work, like answer the questions. I'm like, oh, you trying to see how I think.
Yeah.
And you're trying to understand why I'm making these decisions, not just from like I don't want to do it, but help me understand how you got to the point of doing that. So the way I pour into people,
Mm-hmm.
I had not met many people that were pouring into me that way. So to your original statement of these people pouring out and they're not getting poured back in, I'm not about to offer you something I can't give you.
There we go.
And so for me, you could say it's a high expectation. It's just realistic. I realistically am saying that my experience has not been equivalent to what I've been able to give other people. And so because of that, I just don't have the same perspective on it. However, I've seen the other side. I just haven't seen it consistently enough. I haven't seen enough people be the mentor that I would hope they would be
Mm-hmm.
for me to say that's the common thing. I've seen more coaches though. I've seen a whole bunch of coaches and they getting paid.
Mentors are seasonal.
Yes,
So
they are.
sometimes that season may be up.
Yes, just like a coach. You can coach me in middle school. By the time I get to college, I'm not hooping like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's go. So, hey.
But I will cap it off with this because you said something in the beginning that I feel like would tie into now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel how I feel about mentors. I'm trying to fix my tire as I deliver this statement so I can make sure it delivers the way it needs to. I wholeheartedly believe that if you are open, you can learn from anybody.
Absolutely.
And one of the greatest experiences I've had has been being able to not only watch my brother here, but hear his firsthand perspective on why he made certain decisions, why he should have made a better decision, what he intends on doing next time. Not only what he intends on doing next time, but when that circumstance comes, come back and tell me, did he actually do that or did he do something else? And it's never in a space where I'm not seeing his mind going, but the vulnerability that I get from being in a relationship with him
Mm-hmm.
is mentorship within itself.
Yeah.
Because the reality is we may just be having a conversation, but the information that I'm gathering from what you're sharing is, okay, great. Now I ain't got to go through all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me learn from you. I've heard it said once that smart people learn from their own mistakes.
Yeah. It's
Wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So thank you for always being open.
Making mistakes.
But owning those mistakes. That's the thing. It's vulnerability. It's accountability.
It's sharing it with you.
And it's sharing it. Like, and that's what this lies in right now. Like everything that's said in this conversation, that's been said in this conversation and conversations to come, is very much gonna be molded off of what we've experienced, right?
Right.
Well, the great thing about it is the same way purpose is ever developing, so is perspective. So who's to say that later on we may not have a different conversation and be like, you know what, I like mentors. I really enjoy this. So if that is to come, I'm saying that all to say that it's all starting foundation wise from this conversation of me saying that I have not actively looked for a mentor because I surround myself with people that understand that self-improvement, self-development make a difference. So we improve in each other.
Yeah.
So if you want to come be a part of that collective, great. If not, like it's just not meant for you. It's not meant for you.
Yeah.
That's all.
And
So no questions. I just want to make that statement.
no, that's awesome. I love that because that ties back into just community.
Yeah.
If you don't have a mentor or whatever, have a strong community.
Yep.
Have a strong group of people, friends, whatever around you that again that can check you or that can improve your life in some type of way. Well, man, I appreciate you for stopping by. Technically being on the show the second time, the first time. We're not even gonna talk about that, but whatever.
Things happen.
Things happen. But yeah, man, I thank you for stopping by on this episode, man, where we were just discussing, how we met and just being positioned on purpose. So thank y'all all for tuning in to the Not Perfect But Ready podcast, where we choose progress over perfection every time. See you on the next one.